coincidence. The universe works in very mysterious ways.
Yeah, if they have.
The other weird phenomenon that happened yesterday as well is after the kid had told me like the news of what just happened. Somebody, I work in a photo lab, so I deal with like photography and people picking up that news. Somebody offered a name of, hey, I'm here to pick up this order for this name. The last name of the person is a very not common name. Was the same person of somebody that went to a high school that also killed themselves, and it was one of those weird
Oh my.
like reminders. I was like, what is going on? I didn't. I was just experiencing it. I had no room to digest it. It was just like I'm here to experience whatever this might be.
Yeah, you say I'm not prepared for all this information.
I'm ready. I just
Yes, they're just information. They come and go. Yeah. All right, we will start. Please gently close your eyes and come to a resting state in your body, in your mind, with a pleasant smile in your mind, heart, and your face. Give yourself permission to feel quiet calmness this morning. Also, give yourself permission to see things as they really are. The goal today is to meditate on the noble truths. And before we come to that, we do some relaxation steps, inwardly focused. And it would be easier to focus on breath for now. With the full presence of your mind, you can breathe in and breathe out. Releasing and relaxing tensions and tightness in your mind and in your body. Notice deep breathing and shallow breathing when you are inhaling and exhaling, and both inhaling and exhaling with different natures. give permission to your body to adjust itself as needed and find that tranquility, making room for calm, peaceful abiding. And you notice now that the whole upper body is breathing in and breathing out. Now notice the pause between each inhale and exhale. And the brain begins to cool down as it stops sending signals to investigate sights, sounds, smells, tastes, bodily sensations, and thoughts. So the entire nervous system feel this transition to active investigating to passive observation, where things come and go, and you are slowly breathing in and breathing out, or natural breath is being observed with your mind's eye and awareness field. tranquilizing the bodily formations now. The body breathes in and breathes out. Awareness that there is a body is established in you to the extent necessary for bare knowledge, but you do not cling to the body. Now, the idea of this body is present only when we think of it. Then it disappears like there is birth of that thought and then death of that thought, in which we notice there is continuous arising and disappearance right here, right now, like birth, that way is impermanent, and that death also is impermanent. I mean, the birth of the inhale and birth of the exhale, that is how we notice the body at this moment as we are focused on breathing. And then the birth of the sounds and death of the sounds. Birth of feelings and the death of feelings. I mean, sensations. And then we can zoom out and see the birth of a human being and animals and those beings who are born in various planes of existence with no control whatsoever. They appear and disappear after a certain existence for 100 years or less or more. And then there is death. which is also not in our control. Therefore, realized ones who are awakened name it as a form of suffering. Upon death, there is reappearance in some other form of existence. With the decomposition of the body, beings find another home of existence. We don't find our own control in those destinations. In between birth and death, there is no control over us getting sick. That too is a form of suffering, a truth in the world, which has been named as a noble truth, only realized by noble minds, and by realizing minds get to noble states. And separation from loved ones becomes a form of suffering, not in our control, because if we had any control, we wouldn't get any suffering mentally when we are separating from loved ones. Having to live with folks that we don't like, that too is a form of suffering, a truth. Accepting it as is, knowing that we don't have any control, that truth behaves the way it wants. If we had any control, it would not appear that way. It would not be revealed to us. There is the truth of not getting what one wants. There is expectation, and that is a form of mental suffering. We have no control over that. It arises when we have expectations, certain expectations. So birth, illness, death, separation from the loved ones, union with those that you don't like, expectations, All of these happen in forms, feelings, perceptions, volitional formations, and consciousness. They themselves continuously arise and vanish, subject to change, not following a specific command of a self. If we had a self that can control the behaviors of forms, feelings, perceptions, volitional formations, and consciousness, different consciousnesses, 6 types of consciousnesses, then they would behave the way the self wanted. Therefore, their behavior not being controlled by a self is a form of suffering. So these are truths. When we have comprehended, properly understood the truth of suffering, what a truth it is, we are prepared to see the second truth. Is there a way out of this suffering that we discovered, understood, perfected, realized? Then we notice craving arises in us. Wholesome and unwholesome states governed by cravings. The basic idea of craving is liking and disliking. When we have pleasant feelings, there is I like it mind. Unpleasant states and feelings, I don't like it mind, and that is craving. To avoid that, we may choose neutral feelings, and that is not knowing how that neutral feeling arises dependently. That is ignorance. Whether it is pleasant, unpleasant, neutral feeling, they all arise dependent on 6 classes of consciousness. With the foundation of 6 sense bases and their objects making a contact, then there is feeling. And then pleasant feelings, unpleasant feelings lead us. Neutral feelings lead us. Where there is tendency toward craving, I like it, I don't like it mind states. That is the origin of suffering. the second truth. Then a wise person would want to see a way out, cessation of suffering, which is the third truth. So that same craving, its complete disappearance, like a tree uprooted, like a palm stump that does not grow again. That we accept that it is possible and is a truth. For that we discover the fourth truth, that is the way out of this suffering through noble eightfold path, where right understanding, such as the understanding of these four truths, is the first step, and then we come to the second step, that is to cultivate right thoughts, thoughts of renunciation. What do we renounce? We renounce sensuality, at least temporarily, to see the truth. We renounce cruelty and choose compassion. We also abandon hatred and choose loving kindness. And there is momentary freedom from suffering. With thoughts of letting go, compassion, and loving kindness, our mind begins to experience less suffering. We let go of the past and the future first. Let go of wrong view of a self. Let go of the way we get attached to material world. They come to exist only when we think about the material world. When we have right concepts and thoughts in mind, our speech, the third aspect, becomes cleaner. We are humbled by the truth we are understanding, and we speak the truth that is liberating. We speak kindly because we don't have hatred. We speak compassionately because we don't want to be cruel to the world. we speak loving kindness, friendliness, gentle-heartedness, and our actions, which is the fourth step, becomes pure. We behave and act in a way where we don't steal, we don't harm other beings, we don't tell lies, we don't see a point in intoxications and substance abuse. And then we come to the next step, our livelihood, which is harmless to oneself and others. We don't intentionally engage in killing, selling poisons, selling weapons that are harmful. We want to choose to abide by living a harmonious life. We avoid those traits that are harmful to us and to the world. Now we are prepared for the next step, which is the seventh, that is, with preparedness we choose to be mindful. With right mindfulness, we let go of the wrong mindfulness, focusing on negativities, anxieties, and negative states of the mind. Instead, we see their true nature with the presence of mind, the way things arise and disappear. With that, we go to the last stage of the Eightfold Path, completing our noble truths, the fourth truth, that is the path. And we complete it by going deeper into letting go of sensuality, gradually coming to purity through letting go of anything that hinders the path, such as sensual desire that blocks the view of purity, sloth and torpor that dulls the mind, and ill will that makes the mind behave so fast and angrily, doubt that blocks the view of this stage, each stage of the way of the path, restlessness that clutters the mind. When we overcome them, we come to seclusion in mind, more stable, calm abiding, makes it possible for us to stay with breath, free from hindrances, obstacles. We become luminous and light, like radiant. And the mind gets settled in deeply, experiencing jhanas, levels of understanding freedom from those outer experiences to going deeper. The second level of jhanas, where mind is quiet, there is no need to direct it away from wrong concepts, that it naturally behaves without hatred, without cruelty, choosing loving kindness and compassion, with mind imbued with loving kindness, with the idea that I have no need for enemies, I let go of them, and may all beings feel my field of loving kindness and freedom from hate, which is more important to our own well-being. And then we come to a level of equanimity, and we remain immersed in that equanimity. And then we purify that equanimity and going deeper with profound wisdom that things arise and vanish without our control, sounds, thoughts, feelings. And purity is one's own responsibility. With that deepened wisdom on Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, we choose to let go of not knowing and come to true knowledge, which is possible, and we come back to home where our breath is color-free, time-free. It's happening now. Take a deep breath in and exhale. With a pleasant state of mind, you remain observing the subtle nature of the breath. Drop the weight of the body and remain unaffected by the body's behaviors, noticing the expansion of the mind beyond the body to the outer space of this building and beyond, encompassing the whole universe with the mind, with equanimity, with pleasant loving kindness, compassionate abiding. We can make a wish May all beings be well and happy. May all beings be free from suffering, mental suffering. May all beings realize the truth and be free from mental pains. In the first sermon, the Buddha said, birth is suffering, death is suffering, illness is suffering. Not getting what one wants is suffering. Union with people that are displeasing is suffering. Separation from people who are pleasing is suffering. And the behavior of five aggregates is suffering, which means there is no self that can ask those things to behave the way we want. And then in the sermon he mentioned there is craving that manifests the suffering, the builder. And then again he said the cessation of craving that is possible here and now. And the Noble Eightfold Path, that is the way out of suffering. And having realized this, he said, for many births I dwelled, roamed here and there, not knowing the builder of this birth and death cycle. The builder is craving. Now I have shattered its poles and material that builds this home. The material is greed, hatred, and delusion, not knowing. And that no more builder is possible, and he is freed. And he said it in this way, which will be the ending of our meditation. Anek jati sansarang sandha vissang anibisang kahakarakang gavisanto dukkha jati punapunang gahakaraka diddhosmi punagehang nakahasi. Sabbate phasuka bagga gahakutang visangkitang. විසංකාර ගතං චිත්තං තණ්හානං කය මජ්ජගා